Today we're driving the 2025 Toyota 4Runner. This is a TRD Sport. We're going to be doing a fuel economy test on this. We have 20-inch wheels, a 19-gallon fuel tank. This is rated for 25 miles a gallon on the highway and 19 in the city. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission, a 2-speed transfer case, 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. We'll leave it in 2 high for this drive just because we're driving on road. Let's walk you guys around this real quick, and we'll talk a little about this 4Runner, but mostly I'm very curious to see what it'll do in a mix of back road, highway, and city driving on the way back to the hotel. We're at the end of our 4Runner event, driving pretty much every trim level except for this. This is the last one I haven't driven. So we'll give you guys a video on this, see what type of fuel economy we get, and give you guys some more driving impressions. So you can see in this TRD Sport, we've got a slightly different interior, some blue accents here on the dash, a red TRD engine start-stop button. Drive modes, no multi-terrain select or anything. We have Sport, Eco, and Normal drive modes. Very nice. TRD logo on the shifter here. Slightly different cloth seat design. No sunroof. And a slightly different wheel design. Look at that. What do we have here for tires? 265/55 R20s. Front air dam. That should help with fuel efficiency. A hood scoop. No running boards. This is painted in wind chill pearl. Looks really nice in the sunlight. Beautiful color. Blacked out tail lights. 4Runner badging on the bottom of the tailgate. This takes regular fuel. There we go. Manual operation there with the tailgate. Not a hybrid, so we get a good amount of cargo space down here. Rear seat room, about the same as it's always been in the 4Runner. This is my driving position at 5'10". A lot of space in the back here. And I like that you can adjust the backrest on these second row seats. This does have an optional available third row, but not spec'd in this one today. Cup holders right here. Vents, a couple USB ports, 120 volt, 400 watt outlet. Nice back seat pockets. Not too sure on this blue interior, but I wonder if you'll be able to switch that up with different options. Good looking SUV, the new 4Runner. After driving just about every trim level today, we've kind of come to realize that this is a really nice, well buttoned together SUV. I think the turbocharged 4-cylinder offers much better performance than the old legendary 4-liter V6. We'll see how reliability is. Time will tell on that. But drivability on this is really nice. Maybe the engine doesn't sound as good, but the performance is awesome in both the iForce and the iForce Max powertrains. Paying a little bit more money for this new 4Runner, but you're also getting a lot more content and a much more modern interior. So pros and cons there. All right, let's set off. We'll reset our fuel economy here. Go over to this gauge. Reset our average to 0, and we'll head off. We have about a 50-minute drive, 33 miles. And we'll see how this does over the course of that. Engine's warmed up. Should be good to go. And we'll try to drive this a little bit more gingerly with the hopes of achieving those EPA numbers. Again, 19 in the city, 25 on the highway. That's kind of a lofty goal, if I'm being honest. Super smooth shifts from this 8-speed auto. A little bit of boost noise too from that 2.4-liter turbo. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 is standard. Heated seats are standard. We get auto climate control in this TRD Sport. That's nice to have. Lane tracing works really well at speed. Even on these twisty back roads, it does a decent job. Change your following distance to one of a few different settings. Lots of physical controls, easy button operation here. Smaller 8-inch screen here with our infotainment. Not as fast and responsive as I was hoping. It's kind of laggy if I'm being honest. But it still gets the job done. Connect CarPlay, Android Auto, all that stuff. Manually adjustable seats. Electronically adjustable lumbar. And we are going uphill, so our fuel economy right now isn't the best. 7.8 MPG. All that'll even out eventually, but curious to see what this will average, because this is a pretty good mix, this route. We've got some back roads, some highway. Driving position is good. With the Sport hood, visibility is compromised a little bit directly in front of you, but the hood scoop does look cool. That's kind of been a part of the 4Runner for a while, and it's cool to see them keep it. You also get the same hood scoop on the TRD Pro. Let's even go into eco mode. That might change our climate control and our throttle response. A lot of different trims in this new 4Runner, a lot of different options for dynamics, for off-road capability, for luxuriousness. It shares the same TNGA F platform with the GX, with the Land Cruiser, and I think it's kind of the best handling option out of all of them. There's not as much body roll here. Of course, Toyota has pretty much done away with KDSS now, except for the Over-Trail GX trims. Ride quality's nice, even on these 20-inch wheels. Not as smooth maybe as what you'd get on the 18s, but the suspension does a pretty good job dampening road imperfections. The real test will be when we get this finally out into southeast Michigan, back in Detroit. All right, coming downhill a little bit. Fuel economy is gaining at 16.6, 17.1, creeping up there a little bit. All right, it's been slow going so far behind this Camry, and now we've caught a bus. But we are up to 19 MPG going down the mountain, mostly off throttle, so that's helping our case a little bit. Pretty quiet in terms of NVH. Even over bumps, not a lot of noise, not a lot of impact sound on these 20-inch wheels. Even the base SR5 4Runner today just drove great. All these trims have just felt fantastic. There's not a really huge jump in driving dynamics until you really hit the TRD Pro and the Trailhunter trims, and those really feel good off-road in a way that the TRD Sport is maybe a little bit stiffer than I'd like off-road, but still feels great on the street. The TRD Pro and the Trailhunter just really come together as a nice off-road package. But also, the base SR5 is fantastic. That's probably what will be the volume seller with the new 4Runner. All right, up to 20.4 MPG. Traffic has been a blessing in disguise here, giving us better fuel economy than I probably would have gotten without anyone in front of me. Finally. All right, so a little update for you. I'm sitting at 20 miles to the gallon. Made one pass on that slow Camry, so went full throttle for a few seconds. Idled for a little bit at the border patrol stop. Not too bad. Now we're going back uphill. I think as long as you stay out of boost in this iForce turbo engine, you're probably going to get pretty decent fuel economy. This adaptive cruise control is so good in traffic. It's smooth. I like that it shows you when the brakes are on. These two little red lights show up at the bottom of the screen. Closest following distance is just about perfect. Wouldn't really want to be any closer to the vehicle in front of me. Comes to a stop smoothly. It kind of predicts what's going on ahead of the car, ahead of you, which is nice. much better system than previous generation Toyota Safety Sense. And look at that, we're up to 22.1 MPG as we hit some traffic here. All right, while we're sitting here, let's test out this bass sound system. See what that sounds like. Super powerful. Honestly, for a bass audio system, not bad. Haven't listened to the JBL yet, but we'll test that once we get one of these back home in Michigan. A lot of bass, really bass heavy here. Honestly, it sounds pretty good. Cool. All right, hitting a lot of traffic on the way home, which is expected in Southern California. So we're at 20.2 MPG with quite a bit of idling and slow rolling, which isn't bad. Sound system in this is actually pretty good. I listened to some Spotify after turning off my copyright-free sound system test track, and I like it for a bass audio system. It's definitely one of the better bass audios in the Toyota lineup. For 50 grand, I don't feel like I am getting swindled with bass audio in this new 4Runner. So that's good. Drivability here is so great. This adaptive cruise control system is so nice. I've barely touched the throttle brake for the last 10 miles in traffic. We're getting up to speed here on a 3-lane highway, and it's just doing such a good job negotiating following distances. Comes to a stop smoothly. And then all I have to do to get back going is tap the throttle or the plus button on the steering wheel. I appreciate that there's no annoying engine start-stop here. It's just simple. right, so we've seen a pretty good mix of driving here on this route so far at 19.7 MPG. A lot more traffic, a lot more idling than I was expecting to come back. But of course, also I'm not surprised. It's really hard driving in California. So that said, did pretty well, all things considered. Much better than the outgoing 4Runner would have in these driving conditions. I think we've got a pretty good package here in terms of fuel economy with this 2.4 turbo. Not bad, 20 MPG on that route, considering how much time we spent just sitting around.
In half a mile, turn left onto 6th Avenue.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go. Fuel economy test in the 2025 Toyota 4Runner TRD Sport. That's going to be it for this one. We're back to the hotel, basically. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.